Welcome. I want to introduce a story which was published titled Sales Made of Cash. There's a link below where you can read it. Sales Made of Cash is a sequel to another story titled Memoir of an Overseas Contractor, which you can find in the videos below with a link to the story. Sales Made of Cash introduces us to a young man in Waikiki, Hawaii, who disappoints his parents and drops out of college. He just doesn't learn the same way as other people do. He learns visually. And he gets himself a job. Well, first of all, he's thrown out of his house and he's couch surfing. And he's working as what's called a barback, an assistant to a bartender in a Waikiki dive bar. And he's desperate to prove himself a success to his parents, who are very demanding. And a very well-known Waikiki real estate broker happens to come into the dive bar where there are strippers eager to obtain money from their male customers. And he notices that as this successful real estate broker gets up to leave, he drops his wallet inside the booth. And two of the strippers descend upon it, pull out the money, and they're fighting over some cash. This young man sees an opportunity to get in front of this real estate broker and ask for an opportunity for a job. So he intercedes between these two fighting strippers and pulls the money away and the wallet and chases the man down and says, "Hi, here's your wallet. May I have an interview?" And the real estate broker looks the young man up and down and says, "Normally, I wouldn't hire a lounge lizard like you, but I happen to know your parents." More in the story about that. Come by my office tomorrow at 9. This leads to a trainee position as a real estate broker in an office that just specializes in commercial properties, retail, office, industrial. And he's being trained by a very attractive, very successful female broker in that office. And she says, "Go out and find business. Just go in and visit all the businesses up and down the boulevard fronting waterfront in Honolulu." And he spies a vacant building, or what appears to be a vacant building. And he walks inside, and there's a desk where there's supposed to be a security guard, and there's no security guard. So he goes up to the very top floor and looks around and happens to knock on a door, the only tenant on the floor. And this begins an introduction to a very shady and interesting group of people who manage properties and businesses for an unknown entity in which you will be introduced to in the story. And as the story evolves, this young man is going to become deeper and deeper and deeper involved in the narco trade. Yes, you're just going to have to read the story to find out how it unfolds and how he feels about it. And at the end of the story, what are the consequences, if any? I hope you enjoy it. There's a link below to my website where you'll find nearly 100 fiction stories and poems, as well as seasons 1 and 2 of my podcast titled the Razorsinkpodcast, where I talk about film, television, and music. Lastly, there's a link below to my book, which is a collection of 23 of my short stories titled Hearts Without Sleeves, 23 Stories. So until I see you next time, I hope your personal story is a bestseller. See you next time.